Don't know what to say over the phone to distressed sellers to get that meeting? Stay tuned. We're going to give you our top 5 tips. Smash that like button. So a lot of you have been reaching out and asking us what to say over the phone to distressed sellers because you feel like you don't know what to say. So we're going to give you the top 5 things that we remind everybody to do here in our office when they're talking to a distressed seller to get a meeting. Number 1 is it's okay not to know everything, and honestly it is. You know more than they do already if you've been studying the material, which should be linked to the bottom of this video, and I need you to understand this. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. If you don't know the answer to a question, confidently restate the question, and if you still haven't been able to come up with an answer in that allotted amount of time, tell them, I will get you an answer to this question in the next 24 to 48 hours. Find a time that you can call them back when they're available, and you're going to call them back with the answer, but let them know that you're not bullshitting them and you want to give them the right answer. You are going to confirm all the information that was given to you by your PatLive system or somebody here in our office. That's going to be twofold. Number 1, because you're going to make sure you want to be saying their name correctly. You want to make sure you have the correct property address. You want to make sure you have the correct phone number and any alternate phone numbers. You want to have an email. Okay, you want to know the asking worth. And a lot of times when the calls come in on your PatLive system, if you don't have PatLive, that should be linked in the bottom of this video as well. You're going to call them back and you're going to confirm all these things. And if they're not responding, you're going to say, is that correct? Yes. And you're just going to get them in the habit of saying yes 5, 6, 7, 8 times, because the more somebody says yes, the more they say yes. If you don't believe me, try it in dating. Before you know it, you'll be a master of the one-night stand. It's the same thing. Just get them to say yes and make sure you have the correct information. Also use their name, because the sound of your name is like music to your ears. After that, we're going to make sure that you address their concerns, and before they start coming up with concerns, I like to actually put their own fear back onto them. Hey, I know you may not know what you owe on the house, but what's your best guess? Later on, when we're confirming the sure thing, you're going to ask them for things like their ID, and you're going to tell them, look, I have to make sure you're who you say you are, because I've been taken advantage of before. And appear a little fearful, because honestly they're probably full of shit anyway, and it's better that you come off as the one who's a little apprehensive of them first before they do of you. Make them sell you the house more than you're trying to buy it. It's always easier when the girls chase you, and it's the same way with the distressed sellers. Ask me how I know that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to push for an appointment. You're going to tell them, wow, okay, so if what you've told me is true, I believe I can help you out. You don't know how you're going to help them out. You still have to confirm what's owed with the bank. You're still going to have to check title, but you're only going to be able to do all this stuff if you meet with them in person and you get black ink on white paper in the form of an authorization to release and a purchase and sales agreement, maybe even some more information. So push for that appointment, get there in person, because I take pride in stomping people who get docu-signed contracts, and we can go out even at a later date and get something signed in person and record that contract, and guess what? The written word always supersedes the spoken agreement, and an original is always going to trump a photocopy or a docu-sign thing, and you're going to win in court. So docu-sign, push for the appointment, get there in person all the time, every time. Give them a window of opportunity. Confirm that the day before, 24 hours before you leave, and I would also confirm it again before you get in your car. I've given it to you before, I'm going to give it to you again. The secret formula between making appointments and making money is really simple, and it ain't rocket science. The more you make, the more you make. So just keep getting out there and getting in front of people. It's just like going on dates. If you get amongst it enough, eventually somebody's going to grab you by the you know what, and you're going to get laid, or you're going to buy a house, and you're already pushing them to sell it to you, okay? If they show up on time, there's definitely interest. If not, you could tell them, look, I'm here, you're not. Make them feel like I'm sure they already do already. Turn up the pain, offer the pleasure. And again, the only offer you're gonna make over the phone is, if what you told me is true, I believe I can help you out. Okay, we don't know how yet, and even once we get stuff signed, we can speculate about how we can help, but we still don't have all the facts till we contact the bank and order a payoff and we get a title search. The seller probably doesn't know, you don't know. We work based off of fact, not based off of theory. So get something signed before you figure out what kind of a transaction it is. And for the love of f***ing God, stop trying to figure out what kind of deal it is before you've met face to face with the seller. That will only waste your time and drive you nuts. It's like trying to teach a pig to whistle. It wastes your time and it annoys the pig. Focus on reality, get in front of the sellers. Before you get in the car and you go, and I like to teach people to remember this by saying, before you drive, get these 5. And if you haven't gotten a house under contract yet and you're a little nervous, you don't have to push for number 5. Or if they say no to something, it's okay. I would still practice getting in front of people. But if you get a yes to all 5 of these things I'm about to mention, it's going to be a slam dunk all the time, every time. So again, you're going to tell the seller, I need to get a picture of your ID. If they ask you, why? Because I want to make sure you're you. Because I've been taken advantage of before, and I just want to make sure you own the house. Furthermore, I'm going to need it when I do a title search anyway. The next thing is going to be, you're going to need all the paperwork on their house, whatever they're willing to give you. I would start by asking for mortgage statements if they said what kind. After that, you're going to need all your paperwork filled out. If they ask you what kind of paperwork again, it's going to be a sign that they may not be as willing to sell as if they didn't. I just simply tell them whatever paperwork I bring, because I fully intend on buying the house or buying it quickly and reselling it to somebody else, or maybe just assigning the contract, whatever it is, be honest in your intentions. And honesty is honestly the best policy. If you don't lie to anybody, you don't have to remember who you lied to. And my memory is not that good anymore. I don't think I would really do that. Just tell them what you want to do. Do what you say what you do. It's a lot easier, and you'll sleep better at night too. The next thing you're going to ask them for is the keys on the house. If they're uncomfortable giving them to you because they still live there, that's okay. But I want you to ask, get used to it. It's something you're going to need anyway. When you buy a house, you get the keys. That's why you need them. You give the realtor the keys, right? So why wouldn't you give them to the new owner? And finally, if they're still there, you're going to ask them, you know, I know you're still there. I can help you find a new place, but I'm going to need to know, when can you be out? Because I don't want to keep this house. I want to turn around and sell it to somebody else. And nobody wants to buy a house with somebody living in it, or better still, if you think you got the balls to do it, nobody wants to buy a house with somebody living in it who can't pay their own bills. Nobody's going to believe that you're going to pay the rent if I left you there anyway. I'm going to give you a quick recap again. It's okay to not know everything is number 1. All right, we can remember, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So you just have to know more than most people. You don't have to know everything. Not everybody does. Number 2 is going to be, you confirm all the information and you get them to say yes. Number 3 is going to be, address their concerns and push their fear back onto them. Number 4 is going to be, make an appointment. And we know, the more you make, the more you make. Secret formula, guys. And number 5 is going to be, confirm the sure thing, which we just went through. Before you drive, get these 5, and we're going to do an extended video on that for you next. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's really helped you. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you've liked this, and share this video all over the internet. My name is Chuck Kohout. Always be closing. Bye for now.